It's Christmas, and what's the one thing we all do at Christmas?
Kill
Start
each other.
loud noises. That's right. Watch Doctor Who. Doctor Who Christmas specials are a staple of the season. Growing up, having a new Doctor Who episode to anticipate and watch was as exciting as anything else going on at Christmas. The two are inexorably tied together in the part of my cerebrum that produces joy. And so many of these episodes are classics that are great to return to every year. You know, Voyage of the Damned, The Next Doctor, A Christmas Carol. And it's a great year to be celebrating them because not only is there a new Doctor Who Christmas special for the first time in 6 years, but also, Doctor Who is finally good again. The Doctor Who makes Ewan miserable era is finally over. And the Doctor Who makes other people miserable while Ewan shrugs and continues having a blast era has begun. But I want to talk about a Doctor Who Christmas special that I don't think most people will be remembering and returning to this year. A forgotten 10th Doctor gem that stands as, so far, the only existing interactive Doctor Who episode. Well, the only perpetually interactive Doctor Who episode if we count that time that people phoned in to vote for which EastEnders character would save the day. That's right, it's Attack of the Grask, a 15-minute episode which debuted as part of the BBC's interactive Red Button service, but will probably be remembered more widely as a DVD extra or, if you're like me, as a flash game. Remember those? Please don't say no or I will crumble to dust. You can actually still play Attack of the Grask thanks to fan preservation, so I'll link it down below for you to check out and play for yourself, whether you've never heard of it before, or if you did play it back in the day and want to stroll down an obscure alley branching off of memory lane. Attack of the Grask lets you step into the TARDIS as the 10th Doctor's companion, filling in for Rose while she's away.
Reckon you can hack it as my companion? I only take the best, remember? Like Rose, dropped her off for a bit, 1979, ABBA at Wembley. So it's all going to be down to you, right?
So, what does that actually mean? In what way is this episode actually interactive? Well, in a fairly minimal way. The first thing you get to control is which point of view to watch a scene from. You have two to swap between, and as the Doctor puts it,
looks like any old Christmas, and it is. No, joking, it isn't. One of these people isn't human, but an alien imposter.
Stop!
At the end you have to pick which family member in this scene was the alien imposter. So what happens if you pick wrong? The Doctor bollocks you, and not much else.
Oh, you fluffed it! It was Mum, you missed her eyes glowing. Dead giveaway. Early days, though. But why are they glowing?
That's pretty much how this whole thing goes. You're given little choices to feel like you're involved, but if you mess it up, it doesn't stop the episode. So your only reward for getting it right is whatever little dopamine hit you get from David Tennant saying, "Oh, you did such a good job." Which, you know, valid.
Good work, pilot.
After that scene, we're introduced to an original alien created for this short, the Grask. He'd later show up in the Proms short Music of the Spheres, the Sarah Jane Adventures, which landed him his own action figure, and hey, look, there he is in The Bar in The End of Time. He's not, you know, an especially interesting character. He's not a very compelling or memorable villain, which is to say, Attack of the Grask isn't the most memorable episode, if you were just to watch it. The fun of it comes out of the interactive stuff, like getting to fly the TARDIS.
I can follow the trail of that one, but can you fly the TARDIS? Here are some basics. Use your remote to activate the different controls quickly when I tell you.
This kind of thing is what I dreamt of as a kid. It was exactly the kind of theme park ride experience of Doctor Who that I wanted. And all the more important because there weren't, and still aren't, that many Doctor Who video games to speak of. Certainly none that live up to what I was wishing for as a kid, with the VR game Edge of Time and the Doctor Who stuff in LEGO Dimensions being the most satisfying examples so far. So I'd play Attack of the Grask a lot as a kid, even though there really wasn't that much to it. After a section where you track the Grask on a series of maps, which is basically just press 8. Good job, you pressed 8. You get to the most memorable section of the episode, a little scene on a street in Victorian London, very Dickensian. And it's also the best use of interactivity in the episode. It's an unbroken shot roaming around past various Victorian people going about their Victorian people business, but you know that the Grask is hiding somewhere in the scene, and at the end you'll be asked to point out where you saw him. There are even some solid red herrings where the camera lingers on incorrect spots you can pick later on. It's a very cool way to use interactivity in an episode like this. Granted, he is a little hard to miss, but what are you going to do? This is still for kids. After that is a corridor with a series of door codes. Yay! You don't even get to use the sonic screwdriver to open doors. You gotta do stuff like picking a correctly shaped key. That's actually what I do at my house. I hang up 3 keys next to the front door, and only one of them opens it. And then we get to the final section of the episode where you find a room full of all the body-snatched people the Grask has been kidnapping and replacing with duplicates, including a Slitheen.
That's a Slitheen.
Yeah, cheers, David. But when the Grask spots you and fires at you, he accidentally frees the Slitheen, giving you an opportunity to intervene and rescue everyone who is kidnapped.
Now's your chance. Only time to do one of 2 things. You can reverse the settings. That'll destroy the duplicates, free the prisoners, and teleport them to wherever in the universe they were snatched from. Or you can use the Grask's stasis control against them. Apart from you, freeze everybody and everything here.
This is the final choice you're given in the episode, and it's a weird one. It isn't set up at all before the Doctor quickly rattles it off to you, so I remember as a kid not really understanding what choice I was making. Honestly, even as an adult, it's not the most clear, and if you happen to zone out as he's explaining, you basically have to flip a coin and see which technobabble was the preferable technobabble. I think what doesn't help is it isn't clear why you have to make this choice. The choices the Doctor is actually describing are save everyone or don't. So why would you pick don't? He doesn't really say them like, "Oh, I don't know, you can try and save everyone, but it might not work, and then we'll be dead too." And he doesn't say, "The Grask will get away unless you freeze everyone. It's either stop the Grask for good, or rescue everybody. You can't do both." He just says teleport everyone away, or don't. It's so weird. Who wrote this again? Huh? What do you mean Hatsune Miku wrote this? And this is the most that you're ever able to affect the outcome of the episode. There's a good ending where you saved everyone and the Doctor's happy with you.
Well, hey! Right choice!
And a bad ending where all the victims are stuck frozen in time, the duplicates are still out there, and the Doctor's disappointed with you.
Pig's ear! Dog's dinner! You've left the victims frozen in time! And worse, you've sent that girl off to a room in a right old tiz. Still, it's the taking part that counts. Let's get you back home.
In the bad ending, the Doctor tells you to
Have another go.
While in the good ending, the Doctor tells you how you were such a good girl. Good companion, is what I said, is the only thing I said.
Now, I only take the best, and you were amazing. I might just pick you up one day. Well, I better go and get Rose. Merry Christmas.
And that's Attack of the Grask. An interesting little curiosity, and an important part of the David Tennant Doctor Who era, along with Time Crash, The Proms, Sarah Jane Adventures. This was the kind of little extra fun that made the show feel bigger, wider, more special. And it's that kind of feeling that I think is really making a comeback now, with Tales of the TARDIS, the Children in Need special, and all the potential for Whoniverse spin-offs. Attack of the Grask represents something Doctor Who adjacent media is very good at. Just being a nice bit of fun. Merry Christmas, happy holidays, and let's face that new year together, hey? Allons-y!